Hey guys, Wally here. And real quick, I had this idea and it's centered around MMA that I wanted to share with you guys. Now, it may not be the MMA that you're thinking about, but if you stay tuned, I'm going to break down how these letters or this acronym can help you achieve your goals, right? Because we see Tony Robbins, we see Neville Goddard, we see Mel Robbins, and we think they don't have anything to do with MMA. But if you stay tuned, I'm going to share with you how they do. Right? So first, let's start off at the top. We're going to start off with Neville Goddard. I'm sure you guys have read some of his work, heard some of his videos, some of his old lectures on YouTube. Great stuff. If you haven't, I highly recommend it. But he always talks about one thing, right? Outside of the law of assumption, which is very important, of course. But he talks about one thing that I think is extremely important. And that thing is inspired action, right? A lot of times we sit around and we wait to be told to do something, or we just avoid doing the thing that we know that we need to do to help us accomplish our goals. But Neville talks a lot about inspired action, how in the path of becoming and accomplishing goals, becoming that best version of yourself, you'll get little inklings that'll show you what to do or tell you what to do and ultimately guide you into taking action to achieving that outcome that you want. So inspired action is super important. And again, if you haven't heard about Neville Goddard or interacted with any of his old work, I highly recommend it. Now moving on to our next person, Tony Robbins. I know you heard about him. Everybody has heard about Tony Robbins. A lot of great work that he's done over the years. One of the greatest, I would guess you would say, personal development coaches, period, ever. So he's very influential. A lot of great stuff that he's put out around mindset, NLP. And one thing that he talks about that I really love as well, geared towards this, is going to be how important it is to take massive action. Massive action. And what's important about that is a lot of times in life, we want things to be perfect. We want a perfect plan. We want to be able to execute as best we can. And I get all that. But sometimes starting out, especially trying to become something different or trying to achieve something that you haven't done before, you need to take massive action. Do a lot of those things. And over time, you'll iterate, you'll figure out what works, what doesn't. You'll get rid of the things that don't work, and you'll do more of the things that you've seen results in. So massive action is definitely very, very important. Another concept that I want to discuss a little bit is going to come from a woman named Mel Robbins. Also, highly recommend any of her work. She has this concept that the first time I heard about it, I was like, man, this is amazing. It was so amazing and so thought-provoking to me that I even included it in my book. So if you don't know, I'm an author. I wrote the book called How to Start Your Life Chapter Now, Never Wait for Monday. It's available on Amazon. Definitely check that out. But I talked about how mind-blowing it was because in that simple 5 seconds that you have an idea or you want to take that inspired action or massive action, your brain, and this is based on neuroscience, your brain will actually kick in and start to talk you down from that idea, that inspired action or that massive action that you want to take. Your brain will start to talk you down and try to get you away from it because your brain is wired to want to keep you in a place where it's safe, right? Don't do anything new. Don't rock the boat necessarily. Stay in that safe area. Stay in that homeostasis. Stay in that area of comfort. So if you're thinking about doing something where you have this flash of idea, it could be inspired action, or you know you need to take massive action in this new thing that could be different and kind of out of alignment with your past self, your brain is going to kick in like, hold up now, we doing too much. Maybe not, let's try that. That could be a little bit dangerous. That could get us into trouble because it's new and it's different. And the brain is wired to get you to do that, to get you to take it easy and pump the brakes and procrastinate a little bit. And once you get past this mark, this 5-second mark, if you haven't taken that action, if you haven't made that cold call, if you haven't reached out to that prospective client, your brain is going to kick in, go to work, and get you to procrastinate and start to shut down and lose that momentum. So what she says is you have a 5-second window where you need to count to yourself, either out loud or to yourself mentally, and say like, hey, I need to take action on this thing before I procrastinate, put it to the back burner and lose that momentum. So it's very important. I highly recommend her work. The last one I just wrote, stay hard. And if you don't know, that term was created by the hardest man on earth, David Goggins himself. And I just put that in there because I love his work. Very inspirational. He's not for everybody, I'll tell you that, but he's achieved so much in his life. And it was based around how he took action. He told a story one time on a podcast where he wanted to be a Navy SEAL. And of course, he was out of shape at this point, somewhere around 300 pounds. So he wanted to start running to get into shape and be able to hit those fitness goals that he need to become a Navy SEAL. So long story short, I think he went for like a 1 mile run and he didn't cut it. He wasn't able to cut it. He fell short. But what he did was every day he became more and more consistent. He started to run a little bit more. I think he even incorporated some bike riding into his fitness to help him to achieve and ultimately exceed that goal. But what he did was he didn't quit. He continued to take action day over day and got a little bit better. And now he's a guy who's running ultra marathons with bad knees. And I think he completed one race with like a broken ankle or something like that. So he's able to do incredible things because he was able to take action and be consistent with that action. So I just love to talk David Goggins every time I get a chance. He's an incredible person. All these people are incredible. But what we're going to boil this down to is an idea that I actually picked up from a guy named William Brown, incredible entrepreneur. He has a great book out as well. I think it's How to $10 Million, something like that. But incredible book, great entrepreneur. He talks about this concept as well called, and I'm going to sum this all up right now, it's called messy, massive action. So basically a lot of what we covered already. So just obviously taking action, taking a lot of action, and understanding that action is not going to be perfect. It's going to be a little bit messy at first. Perfection does not exist. But you can work towards perfection and become excellent at whatever it is that you're going after. So it's important to understand when you're starting out, when you're going after a goal, when you're writing that book, when you are finishing up that certification, when you launching that business, that idea, understand that messy, massive action is going to be extremely important to your success, as well as things like consistency, because that's part of it as well. Every day you got to get up, keep grinding, keep working at it, keep iterating. That's extremely important because you're never going to hit perfection. But you can be good at something and you can ultimately be great if you keep working. So I just wanted to share that idea with you guys. I brought in a lot of people that I'm really inspired by, as well as William Brown. I put him in here as well. I recommend you guys to check out all of these people's work. But I just wanted to share that with y'all real quick. I lost my top. Messy, massive action is what we're discussing today. And it's important to take it if you want to learn, if you want to grow, if you want to thrive. Right, so that's all I have for y'all today. If you guys have any questions, you want to dive a little bit deeper on any of these things that we covered, reach out, comment. I'm always looking forward for a good conversation. All right, so have a good day. I'll see you guys on the next one.